What's up, guys? It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com, and I am back. I'm in Las Vegas at the Venetian, and look at this place. Look at Las Vegas. I want you to show you something. Look at this place. This place is one big mirage. Do you see that? The mirage is right across the street. You got Treasure Island, you got Venetian right here, and you got these fake-ass wannabe pontoon boats that are not even like the canals of Venice at all. But that's what Vegas is. It's one big facade.
Right here.
But today's video is not about the facade of Vegas. The video today is about something more important. It is about self-discipline and self-control. The video is going to be pertaining about Magic the Gathering and how having self-discipline when you invest is going to change a lot of things that you do when it comes to your results in your financial state of Magic. Now let me explain something here. Financial, control, self-control will require you to do a couple of things. They'll require you to be humble. They're going to require you to basically look at yourself in a way where you're not going to be the best. You're not the best. It's going to require you to realize that you're not the richest guy. You may make good money at your job, but you don't need to have a fancy car. You don't need to have a fancy house. It doesn't need to happen. And if you can afford it, that's great. But if you can't afford it and you're barely making it, that's the problem. I think a lot of people, when they invest in Magic, they go too crazy on their personal lives. They get that BMW, Mercedes. They go to fancy hotels. They go to you get a fancy house that they can't even afford. They can't afford to fix the roof. Can't fix the furnace. Can't fix things that need to be done in the house. They barely make it in their home. I think it's really important to highlight this because if you're not humble with your life, and you're not willing to take baby steps and make some self-changes, your Magic portfolio is not going to improve. And I'm going to say this because I personally, in my life, have made a lot of, I was not humble when I was very young. I thought I was the shit. I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew how to run everything myself. I didn't want to take people's advice. It took a while and a lot of mistakes and errors and challenges that you realize, hey, the reason why things aren't what I want, what it could be, is because of myself. And I think it takes a lot of humility to admit that. So I think it's a good first step. Self-discipline in Magic and finance is also, once you have complete humility for everything that occurs in your life, that will open the gateway for financial success. That is where you start opening doors for investing. And I say this for not only just what you purchase, but it's also your relationships, because part of success is having relationships with people that are more successful than yourself. I know that seems kind of interesting topic. Is a lot of people who are people that are trying to find their way in life, they tend to hang out with people that are just the same caliber of people all the time. They're hanging by a thread, but they're just so used to hanging out with their same clique of people, the same just people that are not ambitious. People are not out there, making changes in their life. So what's going to happen? The result is going to be exactly the same, because you're going to make no changes. You're not going to be influenced to have any changes. You're going to be out there basically, as successful as the people that you hang out with. And what I'm basically saying is, you got to do things that will lead you to a path to build relationships with people that will essentially, grow, foster healthy relationships. people that, you know, are, you know, not only, not, I want to say just rich, but people that are positive, people that you can connect with and trust and build friendships with and long term. And I'm not saying, hey, have lots of friendships. I'm saying have friendships, quality, genuine friendships. And people that know me know that I do not have very many friends, that is. Like, I don't have many close friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but they're not friends. A friend to me is someone that I would do anything for. I'm extremely loyal to, I can trust, I can talk to about anything. I think it's really important because when you're finally humble and you finally have an openness to build strong relationships with quality people that really, you know, are more, you know, have more ambition than yourself in many cases, who have drive beyond just working at, you know, at a job and just typing away and making their $50,000 a year, and that's fine. And you know what? That's okay if you love that. If you love your job, that's great. But hey, I'm more ambitious than that. I want to be around people that want more than that. So, what does this mean for magic finance, magic investing, being around relationships? Well, it's very simple. Think about this. Think about this very carefully. If you build relationships with other people and you connect and network with people in different parts of magic, they could open the door for new clients. They can open new doors for buying and selling and trading new cards and collections, artwork. Some of the biggest deals that I've ever done were based purely off of relationships. In fact, I am probably the number one person out there that is a perfect example of why good relationships with people in the magic world have led me to the path I live. I have to be thankful for that, because the thing is, the people that I'm not successful because of my luck and my hard work. It's also the people out there who supported me, the clients, the friends, the family, right? Who's been there for me since day one, believing in what you do and what you want in your life. So I think that's something to look at, is that you've got to look at yourself and you got to look at the people you're hanging out with. And this is going to be tough to say this, but it's true, that you might have to eliminate some of those toxic relationships in your life. That might be the girlfriend, it might even be the wife or the husband, whatever, it might be a woman here. I'm talking to a woman here, and it might be, a situation you got to eliminate. It's a lot. It's pretty deep conversation, but something to look at. Something to look into for the future. Another thing I realized with magic finance and self-discipline, it will require you to essentially take a step back. And I talked about this a lot, and I talked about trying to eliminate your debt. I talked about this in my other videos, saying, hey, you gotta have no debt, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's true. You gotta eliminate as much debt and pay as little interest as possible on things you purchase. Now, if you're buying a collection and you're essentially paying some interest on your credit cards, and you basically are, thinking, okay, I'm able to pay this thing off and soon, and I'll accrue the interest on the credit card, but I'm gonna make more money. I'm gonna make more money off the sales of the collection. Well, I think the strategy for that is, I see a positive in that, in the sense that if you can short-term sell something and then make money, but if you had a long-term strategy to hold magic cards and you're holding at a 19% interest rate for a credit card, whatever, I think it's an awful strategy. Now, I'm not saying that 0% balance transfer checks that you write to yourself to buy a collection, let's say, from your credit card, and you pay it off in full after the term of usually about a year. That's not a bad strategy if it's leveraging your money, leveraging your capital, your credit. But I still think that there's too many people out there who have too much debt I'm saying this because if you have a car payment, if you have a house payment, if you have credit card payments, if you can't afford these vacations that you're taking or clothes that you're buying or going out to eat or whatever, then you need to look in the mirror and consider reducing, consolidating your debt. That means paying off the highest interest rate credit cards, the highest interest rate items first, and then you have to learn from this lesson. I mean, you got to learn from this lesson and pay everything in cash and pay it in full. That is key. So what does this have to do with magic or investing in magic? Well, it's everything, because if you are out of debt, you will have more cash accumulated, which will then in turn lead you to a path of being able to buy things outright in cash and have the most powerful weapon in magic, which is cash is king, right? In any investing, cash is king. You go to buy you buy some real estate in a house. You say, I'm gonna buy this in cash to the seller. You are way more attractive than the person that's putting 20% down or whatever. Cash is king. Cash is fast, it is quick, it makes the sale process smoother for each party, both parties, especially for the seller. You will win more collections and you will win more battles when competing with other people selling things. I noticed that in Magic especially, that there's tons of people with lots of cards, and that's great, a lot of equity in cards. But they don't have a lot of cash, $100 bills. That's not gonna get it done, guys. It will not get it done. So that's another thing I wanna talk about there, is that back to self-discipline and self-control is diversification and change. It's basically change, guys. Are you willing to make a change, not only in your personal life, but for magic investing? Are you willing to sell your cards with equity, even at not max value, to build cash? To build cash so you can buy items and collections so you can make more money. One of the most difficult things I see in Magic is that people are not willing to sell their equity in cards because they want to maximize the value of those cards, but then they lose the opportunity to buy other collections, other cards that may go up higher, and that has to do with the fact that you don't have enough cash. Well, it's not going to work in the perfect storm. You can't have all this cash, tons of equity. You know, very few people in Magic have that ability at any point, any click of the switch. You know, they can just buy what they want and not have to be forced to sell it. And I'm not referring to buying something and you are forced to sell it within 60 days or even a year. I need you to understand that if you are able to hold your cards for years and years down the road, I would say decades down the road, you're in a financial state that you are in a powerful position. Now, if you're not willing to change your current setup, where you have binders full of reserve list cards or whatever, and you're not selling any of those cards, thinking that you're going to be able to trade for those cards into Power 9 and dual lands, higher end alpha cards, Power 9 especially, it's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. This will require change. No one who has an Alpha Black Lotus will want to trade you for 30 drop of honeys. 30. I don't care if it's 50 drop of honeys. No one is trading their Alpha Black Lotus for 50 drop of honeys. If you do, put your comments below. I want to hear from you. Make sure when you put in the comments, you tell me if you're damn serious, because if you really are willing to do that, that's absolute craziness. The thing is, a lot of people have equity in smaller cards, but they're not willing to put up cash for the big cards, the things that they know will go up, but they're willing to trade for it. So it's change. You've got to be able to change your strategy, change your outlook, change with the market. That's the way it works in business and in life, and change. So guys, I appreciate you guys listening to this video. There's a lot of interesting talking points. You know, Las Vegas is, this is Saturday. Basically, I leave tomorrow. It's been really fun hanging out with some collector friends here in Las Vegas. And I want you guys to remember. I want you guys to remember something very important, is that, you know, these videos are not meant to put you guys down and negative and be all like, hey, you're an idiot. It's not about that, man. It's about looking at information from people all over the world. I still grow and learn information from people. Doesn't matter how successful, broke they are, whatever. I still listen to everybody. I still gather information. You gotta be willing to listen, willing to understand. And then all the other things I say in the video have to apply also, right? But you have to look at things as a positive too. You can't just look at it as some guy, some Asian dude like me, telling you over the camera, well, what to do with your life. You gotta look at it as, hey, you know, this guy actually is passionate about his life and what he wants to do with his life. And it's about, you know, growing together as a community. And I appreciate the subscribers and the patrons who've been with me since basically day one, supporting me. You know, a lot, I would say more than tons of people don't like me. I understand, but I still get to this day people telling me how awesome the videos are, how they've learned a lot about Magic Finance and in life, and that really touches me a lot, because that means a lot that, hey, you know, I know what I'm saying to people isn't just some kind of like, you know, just I'm just speaking to myself. It really is hitting to people out there in the world. So I want to thank you guys. So remember, keep it positive, keep focused. If you guys have any questions, put comments below. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon in the next video. Cheers.